Okay, in this video I will show you how to create an enum. We are going to use the one that was in for what we're going to do is we're going to try to represent the 4 suits in a standard playing deck. So how do we do that? We right click on our package, we select new, and we see no enum. So we go to other, and we see that there's a Java enum right there. We say next. We're going to call this suit, and we finish up, and we get the skeleton for a suit. And now we simply specify what the different types are. So clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. And that's all we need to do. We have defined our suit. Now, how do we use this? Now, here, what I'm going to do is show you how to create a sub package. So we're going to create on our, double click on our package and create a new Java package, and we're going to call it run. And the idea here is that we're going to put our main methods in a separate class to keep them distinguished from our template classes. All right, so now we've created it. Now I'm going to create just a simple main class to test and illustrate how to use these. So the first is to what we can do. If I want to specify one, let's say hearts. Notice I get red squigglies. Can't find it. So when you get red squigglies, there are kind of 2 options. One is to click on our little light bulb there. We can add the import, or we can just right click anywhere and say fix imports, and they get fixed. So let's just sort of see what this has. So we'll say suit, and we'll let's print the ordinal for it. Okay. Remember, each of these has an ordinal, which is kind of just a number, and we get that through a method called ordinal. So let's run that and see what we get. And we see that suit hearts has ordinal 1. Now there's another way that we can get one of these enums, and that is through value of. And one of the things we can do is, if we have a string which literally matches one of these, and it's case sensitive, then that will give us the same. It will give us the right one. If we either have something which is totally different, or even just have a slight misspelling or a case difference, then we will not get the right one. But let's just make sure that we've gotten something. And let's check its ordinal as well. And we run that and see what happens. So we see that spade has has ordinal that, and if we want to just separate that out, we can put an extra new line in there. Now, one of the things that I want you to kind of get, and notice what I'm doing. I'm writing a little bit of code and then I'm running it. It is, in my experience, a better practice to just take baby steps, do a little bit, and test, make sure it's working. And if something goes wrong, then, so for example, just even something as innocuous as an extra space will produce an error. So this will blow up because, and this will be, this is a little confusing because look, no enum constant called blah, blah, blah spades. But look, when we click there, we see that that extra space was in fact the problem. So it has to match exactly. Spaces are not ignored. Okay, so now let's sort of circle back to this. Now, we can either refer to it in the fully qualified sense, or we can refer to it in its unqualified sense, but we need to have a special kind of import. And again, NetBeans will do that for us. And this is basically what it does. Again, later in the course, we'll peel back the hood on kind of why it does it that way. But for right now, we have a choice. We can either have the fully qualified, or we can, if we want to use it unqualified, then we have to have that extra import statement. And the final piece is we can get all of them in an array. And again, we have not talked about arrays yet. But you have used arrays in your previous languages. F, let's okay, so again, we're just sort of printing the suit and its ordinal, but now since we have an array, you may not be used to seeing it defined that way because that's something special to strongly typed languages, but you'd have, given that there is an array, you should be comfortable in seeing it referred to this way with the bracket. Okay, so let's see what that does. Okay, so there's our clubs is ordinal 0. And just to be lazy, let's do this for 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then just to separate them out, let's put an extra new line in here. And when we run that, we see that we have all of them. And this is the listing their ordinals. And notice that their ordinals are corresponding to the index in this values array. Okay, so that's how we do enums.